Let's start with the Tunsil drama. When did you get some kind of idea that he was going to be falling, that this video and text exchange was out there?
Well, Dan, I'm on, we have the inside set and the outside set. So I'm on the outside set, and the first round started, and all of a sudden I started getting some text messages from scouting buddies with teams saying, have you seen this video? Have you seen this video? And they're sending me links to the video. Well, I'm paranoid. I'm always thinking, okay, you never know when your mic's going to be hot or when, something could happen. They could come to you. And I don't want to be sitting here watching a video on my phone when that happens. So I could see the picture of it, which obviously did not look good. But I hadn't heard anything in my ear for a while because they're communicating to the inside set, so I can't hear what they're saying to those guys. And then finally he just started dropping, and I think Ian Rappaport came on and talked about it. And then eventually the producers got in our ears out on our set and said, hey, we're going to come to you guys for a character discussion. And then we got a chance to kind of to go on and talk about it a little bit.
All right, you were a scout. Your job is to, assess talent, but is there also, as a scout, you have to look for this personal side of a player? How involved are you with that as a scout?
No question, man. Every single school visit you go on, that's one of the things you're hunting for, is to find out about drug use, and you'll find out about positive tests. Now, the interesting thing is Laremy Tunsil never tested positive at Ole Miss. And I can tell you, look, if you took every player off of your draft board that had tested positive, forget, like, you've heard that he smoked or they say that he smoked. I'm talking about positive tests at the school. You'd probably wipe out a quarter of your board, if not more. So, to me, this whole thing last night was not about the crime. It was about the timing of it, obviously, and the images of it. But if this would have happened, say if this thing would have happened a week ago, mm-hmm. and teams had time to kind of do their homework, I don't think you would have seen him drop all the way to the Dolphins.
Well, why did he drop? Is it because he's there with a video of him smoking pot, or is it that he took money?
No, I don't think the money thing has anything to do with it. I don't think I think teams don't care about that. I would say just the timing. When you're in that draft room, Dan, and you've got your owner in there, and man, you got to say, okay, this is the guy. Hey, this is going to be our press conference. We're going to be holding up this jersey tomorrow at our facility, and we're going to have to field a million questions about this whole thing. It's just, I think teams look at that and say, "Nah, I just don't want to do it. I don't want to do it." And I think if if this kid can stay out of trouble, the Dolphins, I think, got the best player in the entire draft.
Really?
Oh, he's my number one player in the draft, Dan.
Okay.
He is gifted. He is ultra talented.
But you're also at that position an offensive lineman, and I don't know if that does that carry. Obviously, it doesn't carry the same weight if this was a quarterback, because you don't want your quarterback, making those kind of decisions. But as an offensive lineman, can you get away with it a little bit more than you can at other positions?
Well, we always would say that character, this stuff concerns you the more you get to the middle of the field. And I know maybe that's not fair, but, corners and wide receivers, you tend to be a little bit more forgiving. You talk about quarterbacks, centers, kind of those leadership positions where you're making all the calls and all those things, you'd be more concerned. Where he's playing at tackle, I would say it kind of falls in that middle ground. It's not ideal. You don't want your first round pick seen with this image right before you pick him. That's doesn't matter what position he is. But
Crazy.
Hey, he's not. What I said, Dan, on the air was, look, this is not the only guy that has participated in that activity, and I would venture a guess there's probably a couple picked ahead of him that have done the same thing.
He's Daniel Jeremiah, the NFL Network, UCLA linebacker Miles Jack. How far does he go? Does he hear his name tonight?
Oh yeah, I'll be shocked. Here's my prediction. I'll say, look, the Titans have 3 second-round picks. If ever there was a team to go ahead and say, hey, let's just take a shot here. This guy was, I think he's the second best player in the draft if he's healthy. So to me, I think the Titans, you look at them, and I wouldn't be surprised if you saw a team trade up towards the top of this round and go get him.
The oddest pick or move yesterday was what?
To me, it was San Francisco coming back in for a guard and Josh Garnett.
I agree.
I just don't get it. Look, I thought he was a third-round type player. My phone, we all can be wrong, but my phone blew up from friends around the league saying, what are they doing? But you have to think now, Chip Kelly last year, Dan, in Philly, their guards were terrible. And you could say maybe that had some impact on him losing his job. So he was definitely going to try and look at that area.
You like what the Broncos did with Paxton Lynch?
I do. I like it as long as they've come up with a game plan for him that says, hey, we don't need you to start game one here. I mean, let's just come in here and develop you and spend the time and do this right. But he's got a tremendous amount of ability, and I thought for where they got him, I think it's a good fit. He fits great in that Kubiak system. Everybody always told me, my buddies in Baltimore, how much Kubiak just loved coaching Joe Flacco. I mean, he loved him, what he could do with his arm and his kind of skill set there, arm strength-wise. And now he's got a guy that has some of those same traits.
What drama do you expect today in the second round? You got some probably another run on quarterbacks. Derrick Henry's going to be there. We talked about Miles Jack. What's the big question mark or interesting point?
I mean, how many millions of Ohio State and Alabama players are going to get picked? Maybe. I mean, it's just like I think every other pick in this draft went to Clemson, Ohio State, or Alabama, and we're going to see a bunch more in the next couple rounds. But Miles Jack is the big storyline. Where does he go?
Great stuff. Thank you. Good luck tonight, Daniel. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Dan. Take care.
All right.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.